during your day, how many different moments can you find to get input and exposure to the language you're learning? Especially if you're not working in the language. If you are, great, but you can even increase that. We're going to follow me during a day and see how much exposure I can get to French during the day. Are you ready? It's breakfast time, and if you have breakfast either at home or if you go to a cafe, it's a great opportunity to get more exposure to the language you're learning. Of course it is. As I say, I'm a big fan of having different types of input and media on my phone. This time I'm looking at Le Dessous des Cartes, which is a news program that focuses on different topics in the world, in the news, environment, etc. So I can listen to that as I'm having breakfast. Even in the morning, if you're going to do a little bit of exercise, whether you go jogging or you go running or walking, or in my case, sometimes do a couple of stretches like this, because I'm a little bit older maybe than you are, nearly 100, so I use that. And I very often listen to France Info 24 news program, or even sometimes some music. And I even have this new meditation app called 7 Minds, which is not bad. I don't normally do meditation, but for 5 or 6 minutes. And that is also in French. Is it a torture? No, because j'adore le français. So another place where you can get more exposure to the language you're learning is in your car, on the bus, or on the train. And if you're in the car, then a good way is to connect to Android Auto or Apple Car using your mobile phone. I've got Radio Français, all the French radios on my telephone, so all I have to do is connect here to, so I can connect here to Android Auto, French radio, France Info, Actualité, and
Marianne se plaisait. Dans ces communautés retirées de l'Amérique rurale, l'Église est vraiment au centre de tout, de la vie sociale, communautaire.
So, it's as easy as that. So when you're driving to work and you find a lot of traffic and you have to spend an hour perhaps in your car, that's a bad thing, isn't it? No, that's a good thing, because you can spend an extra hour listening to French, English, Italian, Portuguese, whatever in your car. It's an extra hour to get exposure. You will always find a way to do it. So when you commute to work, it's a really good moment to be able to connect to the language that you're learning. Don't listen to the radio in your language. If you want to learn a language, make the effort and it will become easier the more you do it. I promise you, it happened to me. Well, so here I am in the kitchen cooking. It's lunchtime and I think, aha, habit. When I'm cooking, then what I do is I listen to something in French, because that's the language I'm learning at the moment. So I go to, let me see, something interesting. Le monde était vraiment prêt à se passer du charbon. Put that on. Oh my god! Stirring some vegetables and I'm out. So I listen to this. Get into the habit of doing things at a specific time. Shut up! Sorry, be quiet. Tais-toi, taisez-vous. Alright, so that's what you can do at lunchtime. Just put it next to your kettle or wherever, turn it on, and then just do it. You've got like 20 minutes, half an hour, and then when you're eating, you can continue as well. So, and now I'm eating, having lunch. Guess what? I'm still listening to the extremely fascinating documentary and discussion on French YouTube channel Art 28 or something like that. So really, you can listen to the language you're learning anytime you want, but you've got to create a habit. So you've got to associate it with cooking, associate it with eating, and more things. And here I am again, back in the kitchen, because je prends le français pendant que je cuisine. And this time I've decided to go to a specific channel for learning French for students, with this lady here. Piece of French. There are lots of these, and today I'm going to learn visiter, rendre visite. Okay, confusing words. All right, and I'm going to do this while I cook. You can do the same thing. You just need to get into the habit. Associate certain places and certain activities with learning the language. You begin to integrate the language into your life like you would your own native language. You either do this or you will spend years at the same level or never ever make progress, and normally you will give up. So that's how you do it. So I'm going to start beating the eggs. I have to look that up. Je battre les œufs or something like that. I don't know. I have to look it up, which is another thing. If you don't know something and you're talking to yourself like I do, look it up and then repeat it. And the more you do, the better you get. So now the dinner's done and it's ready. Again, I associate dinner eating with more French. You think this is a real pain in the butt. C'est très galère, but not for me, no. So as you're listening, you can also repeat. It's not absolutely perfect, but it doesn't have to be. A lot of people say, well, but it's easy for you because maybe you live alone, And also people say, oh, but I've got a small child, I've got a needy husband, I need to look after him, I don't have time for myself. But as you can see, you can still do things at the same time. You can cook and listen. There are so many things that you can do to integrate the language in your life. It's just you haven't thought about it, or you just haven't started doing it. So then when I relax after dinner, if I've done a little bit more work, then it's time to watch a film or a series. So I've decided to watch Fargo, and it's the series. I've never seen it before. I don't think anyway. And instead of enjoying it, I've decided to watch it in French, but obviously with French subtitles.
Ah, pour toi, Lester? Ah oui, impec.
Ah oui?
Ouais. Pour moi aussi. J'ai une boîte de transport routier qui carbure. On a des camions dans toute la région.
Because the film was in English and it's been dubbed into French, the subtitles won't correspond exactly, but it's near enough. So again, you have so many opportunities. Instead of watching the film in your own language where you learn absolutely nothing and you waste your time, then just put it into the language you're learning. Put the same subtitles, the same language, and watch even part of it, even half an hour in the language is better than nothing. And you're building the amount of exposure to the language every day. That's how I've learned French over the last 3 years. And it works. Ça fonctionne très bien. So, that's it. The important thing is that you have to associate one specific activity with learning the language, whether that's doing exercise or having a meal or cooking a meal. And it has to be easy. So if it just means turning on an app on your mobile, that's very easy. Or having a book next to you on the table where you have breakfast. That will help you increase the exposure and input that you get to the language, and this is the only way you can learn. And as I say in this book, which is the Spanish version, Cómo se aprende un idioma, I said the estrategias de éxito. One of them is to get as much input as you can and to create lasting atomic habits, small habits you repeat again and again and again and again and again. See how much exposure you can get to a language every day and tell me about it. See you in the next video.